Hello everyone, welcome to part 17, module 1, computer network. So far we were discussing the basic concept of computer network. We started our discussion with the basic terminologies, and then we move on to the mandatory and optional functionalities of computer network, and then the concept of layering protocols. Those things we discussed so far. Now in this video lecture we will be covering a relatively small topic called the connection oriented versus connectionless service. And you know what is a service? That is what we already seen in our previous discussion. Now about connection oriented and connectionless service, again this is something familiar to you. In our data communication class also we discuss the same. So when it comes to connection oriented service, between the sender and receiver a connection establishment phase will be there, and once the connection is established, through using that connection the information transfer will happen. So connection establishment in the sense on the way the resources will be reserved particularly for this communication. And when it comes to connectionless, there is no dedicated connection or path that exists for the data to follow. Simply it will be moving around the network, and using some trial and error manner it will be reaching the destination. And in that trial and error manner itself, when we add some kind of intelligence, we execute some smart algorithms called the routing algorithm, and that will optimize the overall thing. So that is about connectionless service, where there is no predefined connection exists for the data to travel. But when it comes to connection oriented service, such a path you can see. So this connection oriented service, the well known example is the telephone system, right, where in connectionless service you can imagine the so called postal system, and using that address the communication is taking place. The same concept applies here also when it comes to connectionless service. But in case of connection oriented service, that telephone analogy you can see. So layers can offer two types of services to layers above them, and you know the lower layers will be offering services to the upper layer. Through the interface the services are visible, and they are connection oriented and connectionless. So first we will see what about the connection oriented service. In the next slide we will see about something about the connectionless service. So connection oriented service is modeled after the telephone system, of course. To talk to someone, you pick up the phone, dial the number, talk, and then hang up. That procedure is known to everyone, right? So similarly, to use a connection oriented network service, the service user first establishes a so-called connection with the one to whom he wants communication, and he uses the connection for the duration of communication, and using that connection the communication will happen, and once the communication is over the connection will be released. So you have to understand that what does it mean by establishing a connection. It's nothing but the resources are simply dedicated for your communication, so that those resources will not be utilized by someone else. So it is for the entire use of that connection, the resources will be dedicated for you. Once your use is over, you can simply disconnect the connection being established, where the resources will be released. So the essential aspects of a connection is that it acts like a tube, you can imagine so. So the sender pushes the objects, that is in the form of bits, in at one end of the tube, and the receiver takes them out at the other end. So by default you can see that the ordering is preserved here. So the order in which the sender is sending the information to the exact same order at the other side of the connection, the receiver can take the data. So ordering is not at all be an issue here, but when it comes to connectionless service, you have to remember this ordering is an issue, and also that address of communication here means during connection establishment this address matters. So once the connection is established, for further communication don't have to worry about the address, because we know where to go, and so on the way you don't have to carry the address. But when it comes to connectionless service, the scenario is different. Okay, so in most cases the order is preserved, so that is what I told in the previous statement, so that the bits arrive in the same order as they were sent. So in some cases when a connection is established, the sender and between the sender and the receiver, So what will happen is the sender, the receiver and the subnet conduct a negotiation about the parameters to be used, such as the maximum message size, the quality of service required and other issues. So this is another one. The parameter negotiation is something that is happening along with the connection establishment. So whenever between a pair of machines, a sender and a receiver, a connection is established, the sender can inform the receiver as part of the connection establishment communication that this is the maximum size of the information I will be sending you, and this is how much I can receive, and if you are sending more than this, it will be difficult for me to decode them, it will be difficult for me to receive them. So it's a kind of establishing flow control or congestion control. So both we can try with this when we are having we are fixing some limit for the maximum size of the message to be communicated. Otherwise it will go for in some infinite size and it will lead to other complications like flow issue. Okay. Or the speed mismatch, the congestion, that kind of issue. So it is in normal communication, the sender will be as part of a particular network, local area network say, and it will be having a maximum size for the message which that particular network can handle, and normally it will be communicating this maximum size. It is restricted to with the receiver, so that the receiver for the further communication, the receiver can keep this maximum size in mind and accordingly he can have the communication without any further problem. And another thing is we already seen a brief idea about this so-called quality of service that provided and some more efficiency for the real-time communication, where you can say what is the maximum latency or delay, or what is the throughput requirement, everything. So those things you can set as a parameter and you can negotiate the parameters during the connection establishment. So that is one thing you have to keep in mind, and we will see all those things in detail, how this parameter negotiation is happening, everything when it comes to a particular well-known connection oriented service, that is a TCP. When we look into that transition control protocol, maybe in the 5th module, I think 5th or 6th module somewhere, and that time we will see this negotiation part and you will get a clear idea about it. And typically one side makes a proposal and the other side can accept it, reject it, or make a counter proposal. So that is ultimately what is happening in connection establishment. One side of the communication, normally the sender who is trying to have a connection with the receiver machine, say, he will be making a proposal like this is the limitations I am having, in this way I need a connection, and it is up to the receiver whether he want to accept it, reject it, or to give a counter proposal. So a circuit is a terminology and that is used as another name for a connection with associated resources such as fixed bandwidth and all. In that case, that fixed bandwidth connection which we established, we call it as a circuit. In the sense, this concept came from the telephone network, in which a circuit was a path over the so-called copper wire that carry a phone conversation. So the terminology circuit we are using with the telephone network also, same concept we are using in computer network even. So hope you get an idea about connection oriented service. There will be before starting the actual communication, there is a special phase in which the connection will be established and that connection will be used for the communication, and at the end there is a disconnect phase where the resources dedicated for the connection will be released, and of course order is preserved. Parameter negotiation can be done during connection establishment. Circuit is another name that you can use for it. Now about connectionless service, mostly if you are looking at the so-called network layer and the internet protocol, it is providing connectionless service only, the well-known network layer protocol, IP protocol. And we will see, and on top of this IP, if you are using TCP protocol, then you will get connection oriented service over the connectionless service. And if you are using something called the user datagram protocol in the transport layer, together with the internet protocol in the network layer, it will provide a pure connectionless service. And you have to remember, a connection oriented it's something that sounds good because there is a predefined connection delay. Everything is having a limit because after how much time it will be delivered. A fixed connection is there, but when it comes to connection less service, here the information will be moving through here and there, and we don't know. We will try to provide the best optimal path, but still it is prone to the traffic and other delays, and it may reach out of order because maybe two packets of the same message traveling through two different paths, and one is arrived late and it is supposed to be the one to be arrived early, and like that many ordering issue, delay issue, many things will be there in connectionless service. But when it comes to connection oriented service, it found to be a better solution. But what about what is the difficult part there? The resource reservation, it's a costly solution, right? So just for your communication you are reserving the resources, and what is the guarantee that you are going to utilize the reserved resources properly? If your utilization is not good, that again leads to other issues. So like that it will continue. So both are having pros and cons, so depending on our need, and we will see more into it and the different types of application, and finally you will reach a level where you will be able to identify for this particular application whether connection oriented or connectionless service could be better, and accordingly you can go for the design part. Okay, but for the time being it is just a basic introduction to connection oriented and connectionless service, and everything we may see in detail in our subsequent discussion. So connectionless service is modeled after the so-called postal system, that where there is no predefined established connection. The postman who is taking your message, he will check the address and he will go here and there and he will identify you some way and it will be delivered. And the same concept is being used by the packets in connectionless service. With the help of packet, the address, the destination address, the intermediate nodes we call as the routers or the switches, they will help the packet to reach the destination by selecting a particular path or sequence of hops. So each message carries the full destination address. So that is one limitation we have here, but something like that is not there with the connection oriented service. Once the connection is established, but before establishing the connection still we need the destination address, but once the connection is established for further communication, the destination address is not at all required. But when it comes to connectionless service, the full destination address is to be carried by each and every packet that constitutes the particular message. So each one is routed through an intermediate through the intermediate nodes inside the system, independent of all subsequent messages. So no fragment of message, say we can call it as a packet, no packet has to depend on other packets where others are moving. I don't have to follow that path. I can have an independent choice. I can independently choose my own path and I can travel accordingly. So that kind of a flexibility is here. There are different names for the messages in different contexts, and packet is the name for the message that we are using at the network layer. So for time being I can use that term, but particularly from layer to layer when you study in detail the terminology will vary. When the intermediate nodes receive a message in full with that full destination address, before sending it to the next node, and so here we are trying to say about two variations of connectionless service, the store and forward switching, and another one called the cut through switching. Okay, so what is happening here is, so this is the default scenario, the store and forward scenario, where whenever a particular machine send an information, it will be received by the nearest intermediate router, and from him it will be relayed. We can use the term relayed to the next intermediate router, and finally it will be relayed through some path to the destination. So that is the thing. Now whenever a particular intermediate node receive a message, whether that intermediate node, let it be a router or a switch, whether it is, so simply you can use the term switching. I already told you, when the switch is doing the so-called routing, or when the switch is executing the well-known routing algorithm, it became a router. So now it is more intelligent. So generally you can use the term switch, because router is also basically a switch only with some more optimization on the path in which it is performing that switching. Okay, so when it comes to the intermediate node, let me call it as a switch. What the intermediate node, that is a switch, is doing, whether it will take or receive the message in full completely before sending it to the next node. So that means the message is completely gets stored in the intermediate node. If it is a switch, the message is completely stored in that switch, and it is undergoing some kind of processing, and after that it is delivered to the next node. And this is one way. And another way, what you can think is, so here a message is completely stored in the intermediate node, then it will be delivered to the next node. So it is executed like that. But in other case called the cut through switch, so something like this, what is happening is the message will not be stored fully into that switching element or the intermediate node. Instead, a portion of the message is being received, and parallelly it will be delivered. That means some part of the message will be received by the intermediate node, and on the same time some other parts of the same message will be moving on to the next node. So there is no clear cut storing there. Okay, so when the intermediate node receive a message in full completely, before sending it on to the next node, it is receiving that message fully, and it is keeping it, and it is doing some kind of small processing, we will see that, and then it is forwarding to the next node. This is what we call as store and forward switching. And the alternative is in which the onward transmission of a message at a node starts before it is completely received by the node. So there is no, you don't have to wait till the message is completely received by the intermediate node to start the transmission further. So in between some small processing also there when it comes to store and forward switching. But when it comes to cut through switching, the onward transition of the message at a node will start before completing the reception. That means on one side the message keep on receiving by the intermediate node, and whenever it received some part of the message, it started transmitting that part. So same message, maybe the front portion of the message will be transmitted, and at the same time the second half of the message will be received by the switch. So both will happen simultaneously. Now you will be wondering why these two scenarios. Again, it depends on you. It's up to your choice whether you want store and forward or cut through switching. Store and forward, I am telling you, like some kind of processing is done. Let me tell you one example where this CRC checking, right, cyclic redundancy check. Normally you can do the CRC checking at means whenever sender is sending some information, that error checking can be done at the receiver which is the end point of communication. And if you want more reliability, what you can do you can do the CRC checking or the error correction, error detection if there is any error, and you can ensure that there is no error so far, then you can transfer it to the next hop. So if you are giving such a permission to each and every intermediate node will be storing that message fully, and it will be taking the CRC portion, and it may calculate the CRC reminder once again, and it will be cross checking whether that reminder is now found to be 0 or not. If it is 0, it is error free, it will be transmitted to the next intermediate node. Otherwise, but so that kind of an additional security you can add when it comes to store and forwards, additional reliability, not security, additional reliability you can add when it comes to store and forward switching. But cut through switching, of course, as you are not waiting for the message to be received completely before transmitting it, and you are doing both in parallel, you can achieve some kind of faster switching, right? The speed will be far better here in cut through switching. Whereas store forward, you can achieve reliability, but the speed you have to compromise. So both are having, so depending on the type of application and your type of requirement, you can go for store and forward or cut through switching. So normally when two messages are sent to the same destination, it is possible that the first one send can be delayed so that the second one arrives first. So this is something, the ordering issue I already mentioned, but in the case of connection oriented service, there is no issue. Always the very first one which is being delivered will be received by the receiver first. So because we are following a fixed connection, right, path. But here it is not like that. The first and second message may be taken two different path, and of course the second one may be taking a shorter path. If so, it will be received first and the first one will be received second. So that ordering changes. Right now you should have an alternative way. You can use something called the sequence number. Many methods are there. So sequence number is something we already seen, and that technique you can use for ordering the message. Okay, even though it is not clear, we will see all those things in subsequent discussion. So that about connection oriented and connection service, the two typical service provided by the typical in layers, right, to the layer that is above it. Thank you.